So, morning, this is a general class, so we're going to cover a few mobility in hips, hamstrings and back. So we're just going to start with sitting in a comfortable position and sit however you want to, and you're just going to roll the shoulders and mobilise into those shoulder joints. I don't know if you've been immobile or on holiday, so just get everything moving. Take both arms up and stretch over to the side. You can do this standing or sitting. And then reach up and over to the other side. Now start focusing your breathing. Breathing out as you stretch and move. Breathing in. Back to the centre and go into a twist. Okay, now bigger movements with the arms now, so get the arms moving. Mobilise into those shoulders. You can go small if you need to, so our hands can go onto the shoulders if it's too much with the full arms. If you can, arms around. Clicking. Okay, and then really move in the elbows. Okay, just take the head side to side, just gently start to move the neck and circle the head. And take the arm out across in front, opening out into the shoulder. And the other side, already getting hot in here. Okay, so just want you to go onto hands and knees. Just a little movement through the back. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Try and make sure the hands are directly under the shoulders, so you are supporting the shoulders, especially if you've got any neck issues. Try and draw the head and chin back, lengthen through the spine and go into a cat stretch. So I want you to tuck your bottom under and stretch through the spine. Now you can do a little bit more movement into the lower back by taking your hips a little bit further away, so as if you're pushing towards the heels, and just see how that feels on the lower back. Just start to move lower back more. Try not to overstretch in the mid upper back. Again, and stretch. And this time I want you to take your hips towards the heels and then go into a cat stretch. So really stretching that lower back. Let the head hang. Okay, tuck the toes under, and we're going to go up into downward dog. I want you to really stretch into the toe joints. Slowly start to lift the knees and then come all the way up, so lifting the hips and pressing one heel down and the next heel down. And really focus on the strength and stretch and lengthen calves, hamstrings. So go slow, hands are down, shoulders down, let the head hang and get that really lovely stretch all the way from the hip to the heel. And then press both heels down. Try and lift and scoop the belly. So really lift up the belly button. And come down onto the knees. Bring yourself up into a kneeling position. I want you to circle the arms and then stretch forward into a child pose. Now pushing the hands in towards the floor, pulling the shoulders away from the hands, pressing yourself forward into a back extension. Just making sure if it's too much in the back, don't take the hips all the way down. The weight is in the hands, shoulders pulled away, and just nice stretch to the back. If you can, drop the hips down. If it's too much to the back, keep the hips higher. Breathing in. And go into that reverse So we're going to come up onto hands and knees, tuck the toes under and go into a downward dog. Okay, drop the knees down, roll up, half roll up through the spine, circle the arms and stretch forward again in a child pose. Try and think of it as lengthen the shoulder, lengthen through the back, let the stretch in the lower back, just really push the hips away. Press the hands down in towards the floor, pushing yourself forward again into that back extension. Just make sure the hips, you can keep them high or drop them down, shoulders away from your ears, breathing in. Okay, come back up onto your hands and knees, and this time we're going to hover the knees. So tuck the toes under. Now length through the spine, lift the belly button, lift and hover the knees. You're holding there. So the back is flat as you can. Hold. Now really squeeze, lift into the tummy. And if you can, extend the legs into a plank. Shoulders away from your ears, nice and lengthen through the spine. Lift the belly button. Okay, from there, you're going to try and bring your right foot forward. So hover the right foot and bring it between the feet. And press the hips down. So a really nice little hip stretch, stretching into the hip flexor. So you can fiddle around with your foot. Try and bring your foot forward. So you bring your foot forward. Okay, so my right foot is forward. I'm keeping my left hand down and I'm going to lift the right arm and go nice stretch. This not only stretches the back, but I'm now pressing my left hip flexor down. And release. And then I'm going to come up into a V stretch. So I brought my back foot forward a bit and my feet are in a V. My legs are in a V. Hands are still down if you can. And it gets a really lovely stretch to the back of that hamstring. So if you can, the legs are straight. Sorry. Now press yourself towards the front leg to get that hamstring stretch. Okay, and weight into the back leg, and you're going to slowly bring yourself up. And I'm going to squat that back knee down. So option one, front foot flat, or you can go up on the toes, the front foot, toes, the back foot. Hover, you're balancing, and you're going to lunge the back leg down. So the knee comes down, you're hovering. Two. Now you're using quite a lot around the hips, the pelvis, the pelvic floor. We're trying to balance. If you need to hold on to something, hold on the side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bend that back knee back. So the back knee is now down, front leg forward, and push yourself into that hamstring stretch again. Bring yourself all the way down to that front leg. Flex the foot if you can. So my back knee is down, front leg straight. Whew. Okay, changing legs, so swap the legs over. You can bring the front, so we were in this position before, so hands around the front leg. You can swap that, you can go plank and then leg forward. But we're holding, we're pressing back that right, my right hip is down, really stretching into the right hip in this position. So my right hand is down and I'm going to twist up to the left. Dropping the right hip more, try not to twist the hips. And come back. And then we're going to go into that V. So bring the legs slightly together, heels down, and really lovely stretch on that front leg, the back of the front leg. So bring yourself as far down as I can towards that front leg. It's really tight in the hip. Try not to twist the hips, keep the hips facing forward. Then slowly coming up, bring the legs slightly together. I'm going to go into that lunge. So either feet are flat or front heel lifted, back heel lifted, and squat down. Now try to keep the hips facing forward. Imagine you've got beams of light coming out of the hips. 6, 7, 8, 9, quite a lot of balance, quite a lot of work around here, 10, and let's just do one more, and release. And then we went down onto our knee and did a hip flexor stretch. So you're stretching that front leg forward, flex the foot, shoulders are down, and slowly bring yourself down. Okay, good. Nice stretch on that front leg. Both hands forward, take the foot back, and again, let's lift into a plank and up into a plank. Shoulders are down, lengthen through the neck, lift the belly button. We're just going to bring knee in and release. Level 1, just knee in and release. If you can, knee in, forward and back. Knee in, forward and back. So we're using the toes. One more, and then down or stay in a plank. We're going to do press up. So I'm taking my hands slightly wider, shoulders are down, breathe in, breathe out. So my elbows are going wide. So either elbows back or elbows wide. Breathe out as you lift up. Keep the neck long. Try to keep the head, neck, upper back in alignment. Try and lift the belly button. If you can, take the knees a little bit further away. And then lift the tummy and stretch back into a child pose. Pressing forward again. And this time open the knees. So the child pose, really stretch into the hips. And then I'm just wavering, moving my hips side to side. Or pressing my hip down, just stretching in those inner thighs. So a really lovely stretch in the hips. Especially if you've been doing lots of walking or sitting around sunbathing, whichever. Or gardening. Knees slightly closer together. Walking the hands to your right. Push the hips to the left. So getting a really lovely stretch. Walking the hands a bit further around if you can, stretching, so I'm stretching my left arm further and really getting that stretch down the left side of the body, into the waist. And then stretch the other side. Okay, coming all the way around, we're just going to go into a seated position, so you can grab a pillow to go under the hips. Stretch the legs out away from you. Okay, so going into a rotation. Hands behind the head, drop the shoulders down. Lengthen through the spine, so I want you to focus on your breath. So breathing in through your nose. Breathing out, engage the core and go into a twist. Rotate. Come back to the centre. Then I want you to take the elbow down to the outside of the knee and then lift up. So we're doing quite a lot of work in the waist and other side. And up and rotate. Bend. Bend and rotate. Pressing the head back into the hands. Really lift the elbows. As you're lifting that position, you're stretching in here. And twist. And again. Bend, lift the elbow, lift, lift. Okay, good. Now twist, and I'm stretching opposite arm to the foot, taking the other arm behind, reaching towards the foot, look behind and stretch. 1, 2, 3, breathing, come back. And go into that saw, shoulder down, look behind, stretch. Open out in the hips and stretch and lengthen through the spine as you stretch back. This time you're going to stretch and hold it. So open out in the knees, open out the hips, look behind you, stretch all the way down towards the leg. And slowly roll up, stretch the other way, take yourself down over the leg a bit further. And up, and then go back to that first leg and go side. So my shoulder is down, arm is down, arm up and over. I'm trying to look up towards that top arm, open up into the waist, breathe wide and full. And release. And other side, elbow down, look up. Shoulders down. And release. And roll the shoulders again. So let's do that little movement in the shoulders, mobilise the shoulders. Oh, much better than before, much more mobile. Elbows in, hand back. Okay, bring the legs together, stretch the arms out in front, pull the tummy in and stretch. Nice spine stretch forward. Really try and pull the belly button back as you reach forward. And then release. Now I'm going sideways because we're going to go into a roll down in a minute, but keep going to a spine stretch. 4 spine stretches, tummy in. Up. Okay. So bend the knees. We're going to go into bow and arrow. So hands together, and you want to rotate and take the elbow back. Squeeze, twist through the spine and release. And rotate, elbow back. So one of my favourite exercises for mobilising the spine. Shoulders are down. Okay, you're going to carry on, but try and go a little bit lower. So you're going to roll down through the spine, elbow back, and lift. Trying to keep the knees together, last one each side. And then you're going to go into a straight roll down. Lift up and roll through the spine. Go halfway and lift up. Now remember, your core muscle is your brake. So really engage the core, half roll, and then lift up. Try not to overuse the hip flexors. If you find you are, take the knees wide and feet together. 5, 4, 3. Don't need to go very far. Just make sure it's about the movement in the back. And then go all the way down. Good, so coming down onto your back, knees together. Make sure you've got enough room behind you to move the arms. Hands up, shoulders down. Lengthen through the spine. Take a really nice wide breath in. As you breathe out, engage the core. So gently engage between the hip bones. Lift one knee up to a tabletop and lift the second knee up to a tabletop and hold. Opposite sides, tap left foot, right hand, and then lift. So you're going opposite sides, foot down, opposite arm down. So the challenge here is you're engaging the core, engaging lower abdominal muscles. Good, 4 more each side. Okay, and both legs, lengthen and back. Now you can keep the arms there if you want and just do one leg lengthen and back, or both legs. So engage in the core, lengthen through the spine. Just keep going, just do 2 more each side. Okay. Okay, so you're staying in that position and you're going to go into a roll up. So I've got a little pillow under my lower back. You can have it under your head if you want. Shoulders are down. Take a nice wide breath in. I'm pulling my shoulders down away from my ears. Engage in the core, so lower abdominal muscles engage. Breathing out, curl, breathe in, release. Now, any neck issues, hands can come under the head. Any lower back issues, just take it really easy. If you need to, level 1, feet down. So we're just trying to go into 20 of these. So a basic curl up. So either with the feet down or legs lifted. But engage the core. Sixteen, 17, 18, 19. Okay, now 20, we're going to hold and go into a crisscross. So cross. Breathe out as you twist. Okay, back to the centre and down. Slowly lower the feet down, hands by the hips. You're going to lengthen one leg away, rotate and come back. So we're going to do a little bit of movement onto the hip joint. So you can rotate out, straighten, back, come back. Rotate out, straighten, back and in. Rotate out. So my hip's clicking there, so I've got to be really careful. So just taking it really easy. Try to keep that left hip down so you're stabilising on the left. And then change direction, in and out. 2, 3, 4. Oh, lots of clickings on that side. 5. Okay, I'm just going to grab that knee and circle. Just mobilise into that hip. And back down. Shoulders nice and relaxed, hands by the hips. Engage the core on your out breath, lift the other knee. So we're going to start out, straighten and back. Again, watch the opposite hip doesn't move. Oh, nice click in there. Oh. And then the other way. In, straighten. In, straighten. I'm just going to reverse it. Okay, and then grab the knee. Just do a few circles back round. So bring both knees in now and go into those circles. Circle out and circle back. And feet down, leg up. We're going to go into a single leg circle now. So hips in alignment, spine in neutral. Either keep the knee bent or the leg straight. And we're going to do 5 in each direction. Again, just working on that mobility and the strength in the hip. Engage in the pelvis. 4, 5, actually let's do 6 in each direction. And then other side, other way, other direction. So try not to move the hips, so we're stabilising the hip joints. 4, 5, 6. Lower that leg down, hips in alignment, engage the core. Lift the other knee, so bent or straight, and circle. 1. Oh, very hot already. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and change direction. 2, 3, 4, hips are still. 5, 6. Okay, now we're still going. Let's bring both knees in. So I'm going to carry on with the mobility into the hip joints. I'm going to go on to our side. So, and then just a few circles, back round. So I'm going to roll onto my side. So have a pillow under your head or whatever's comfortable. Okay, so I'm supporting myself with my hand. My knees, hips are in alignment. Lengthen through the spine, hand in front. So I'm going to start with the oyster. So again, this is about mobility within the hip joint, but we're engaging the glute. So you're breathing out as you lift up, breathe in as you lower. So just be aware how it feels in the lower back. Breathing out, engage the core, lift and lower. And 2. So you can support yourself here or hand on the hip. And 3. And 4. So engage the core. 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. Try not to move in the hips. 9, 10, let's do 2 more. 11. Now, engage the core here. 12, hold, little pulse. 10, 9, don't move anything else. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now release, straighten that leg. Now you're going to go into a leg lift, but I don't mind if you go higher. So we're going to mobilize into that joint. So I'm lifting my leg. So I'm going quite high now. So it's not about stability, it's about mobility in the hip joint. 3, 4, 5, high kicks. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, 10, you're going to turn and just go into a kick up. So we're now turning the hip. So I'm leaning back a little bit. I'm turning the hip. Okay, now halfway down and little circles. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Stabilizing the hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change direction for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Relax that leg, pat that thigh. Okay, grab the foot, lengthen the knee away and press the hip forward. Whew, really hot. Okay. So knees are together, I'm just putting the pillow on my head and you can do arm circles. So circle the arm up, round, behind you, and round back. And 3 more. Try and get a really lovely big circle in the shoulder. Keep going. 1 more that side. Good, and then you're going over onto the other side. So you can turn over, and we're starting with the legs. So I've got a pillow under my head. Okay, so knees together, feet together. Again, lengthen through the spine, so feel that the spine is straight, hand can be in front for support, and feet are together. So lifting that top knee, try and make sure the hips are facing forward, engage the core. 3, 4, really squeeze that glute. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now hips are forward, little pulse, nothing else moves. Little pulse up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down and straighten that top leg. So with support, the leg goes up. So the leg faces forward. The hip joint is not twisted over, rotated, it's forward. So it is a leg lift, but it's also mobility, so you are trying to get as high as you can. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and go 11, 12, I'm rotating for 5 big kicks. 1. Now I'm rotating just to get the hip joint moving in a different direction. So I'm slightly leaning back. Imagine we're on the boardwalk, Paris, Moulin Rouge. Big kick, last one, and lower down and go hip forward again and circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 in the other direction, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Good. Pat that thigh, grab the foot, and a hamstring stretch. Shoulders open. Oh, right. I'm just also holding onto my ankle and moving the foot a little bit forward and back, and the other foot, just to get some mobility into the ankle joint. Okay, legs together. We're going to roll over onto your front. So pillow can go under forehead or chest, wherever's comfortable. I'm just going to do that stretch. So I'm lifting up, I'm doing a chest stretch, I'm going to drop the shoulder down and up. So really lovely stretch in the chest, especially if you've been working the computer. Okay, come all the way down, forehead down, arms down, relaxing the hips. Okay, back extension, so elbows, hands down. Lengthen the legs away from you, engage the core, and then breathe out and lift. Breathe in lower, keep the chin tucked in. Breathing out and lift, breathing and lower. So the chin tucks in, lengthen through the back of the neck. So lovely back extension. It's really low at this stage. Want to really concentrate on the neck, especially if you do a lot of laptop computer work, iPhone. Okay, making a bigger movement, use the hands to lift up higher. So I'm now going a little bit more into the upper back. Lower the head down and lift the arms only now. So relaxing the head, squeezing between the shoulder blades. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now either just go back to lifting through the head and neck, just being aware how it feels on the neck. Hang the head, make sure the neck is relaxed, or go up to the next level, engage the core and lift head and arms. Three, 2, now 1. We're going to go opposite sides. So right arm, left leg, lower. Left arm, right leg. So you lift and squeeze the shoulder, you lift and squeeze the glute. Watch how it feels in the lower back. You don't have to lift very high. It's actually the fact that you're doing opposites is very good. Arms down, engage the glutes and core and lift the legs, and I'm paddling my legs. Try and keep the upper body relaxed. 10, 9, 8, 7, watch out feels in the lower back. 6, 5, 4, 3, engage engage the core, 2, 1, and go back to, arms are straight now, and you're going opposites. So you either stay at this level or we're going to go into swimming.